まっちゃった。じゃあ皆さんクラップで歌いましょう。 Tell me, tell me 鏡よ鏡、一番好きな私になるの。 Tell me, tell me
You are here for Haruka's Operator Showcase. So, let me tell you what you need to know. First off, we're not going to be looking at her skill 1. It's very rare for you to use a skill 1, so let's get started by explaining skill 2 and then 3. Haruka's skill 2 will be the classic skill that you'll always be using. Healing target count will increase by 1, fleeting foam target will increase by 1, meaning the bubble that she has. We'll learn about the bubble in a little bit. Whenever an allied unit receives healing from Haruka, deals arts damage equal to 200% of the amount healed to 3 nearby enemy targets. So if I just place Yu over here and use her skill, not only Yu is dealing damage to the enemies that he's blocking, but Haruka is also dealing damage onto them, up to 3 enemies as mentioned. What is with those bubbles that she's summoning? That comes from her talent. So her talent states that every attack interval, an allied unit within range will gain a bubble, granting 30% Sanctuary. Sanctuary means that it reduces the damage taken, and it's only for physical and arts damage. 30% damage reduction is pretty huge. The bubbles will pop shortly if they are damaged by an enemy. So environmental damage like poison mist, or in this case the burning tiles, will not affect the bubble that is being summoned. It's only when the enemies are hitting onto them that the bubble will pop, and in that time there is no protection. The bubble must pop back up in order for the protection to appear again. Now if you activate her skill for the second time, the skill will become an infinite skill, quite like how Taunts and Typhon works on their infinite skill. The attack will increase, meaning that she's dealing more damage to the enemies in terms of arts damage and also providing more healing, which is just good for you to use. In a sense, Haruka is just a medic with the ability for you to attack. So you get healing, you get damage, why wouldn't you want that? If you already own Haruka in your account, you'll be happy to hear that you have one of the best medics in the game, and it's also thanks to her second talent. Her second talent states that whenever a bubble pops, the unit at the former location is healed for 25% of her attack, so additional healing on top of whatever that happens in the skill. I'm going to activate it, and now it's in its infinite form. Now, there are some little tech that you got to understand about Haruka. She can actually feed bubbles to enmity units, meaning those that can't be normally healed by medics. However, she can't heal them. So you can actually see that the bubble is forming on Mudrock, but as a result of Mudrock being an enmity unit, Haruka can't actually provide any damage. She can only help Mudrock by giving her the Sanctuary. So I'm just going to place in the bottle so that this is white smoke and Mudrock can deal more damage. Then, some people have the misconception that the bubble being damaged means all units attacking her will receive additional damage. But as you can see, the ships are hitting onto Hoshiguma and they don't have any HP down onto them. The damage that Haruka deals is only for enemies around the pop bubble. So it's not like a repel damage that you see on regular Hoshiguma. It's more like when the enemies get into the range, then you'll see the damage come into play. At this midpoint of the video, I want to immediately tell you to M3 her skill 2. It's the classic skill that you'll always be using on Haruka. Then, you also definitely want module level 1 together with this skill 2 because it provides a significant upgrade. Without module, she's only able to heal and attack at 2 targets, but the module lets her do it to 1 additional target, up to 3, which is so big in terms of the damage dish out that you want. Do you have to give it level 2 or level 3 mod? Not necessary, it depends on how much you value her ability to give SP to the units. At level 2 it's 10% chance, at level 3 it's 20% chance. Not a big need. Level 1 is going to be more than sufficient for most of you. If you just want Haruka to be a bigger support, then go ahead to beef it up. But one more little thing that we have to look at is her skill 3. Not all the time you'll be using it, but there is a specific instance that is going to be pretty good. Now, let me introduce to you Haruka's skill 3. Wait, this is using a JP live stream. Subtitles, I need the subtitles. Thank you, editor. Skill 3 states that attack increases, attack range expands, attack interval reduces. When skill is active, bubble sanctuary effect is increased to 2 times, so meaning the units with the bubbles are more protected. Enemies that attack the allied bubbles are levitated for 4 seconds, and they take 80% of Haruka's attack as arts damage. So you can see that all the snipers are shooting at Quora, but every single time that they do that, they levitate, which is kind of like a stun, and they also take damage. being able to kill all of them with just that skill use of Haruka. It's a long 40-second skill. If you time it well and use it against the proper enemies, it's really good. We're going to go from JP livestream into CN livestream. So at this timing, towards the last part of the stage, they use the skill tree. It doesn't matter the damage type if it's range or melee. If they're hitting onto someone that has a bubble, then they will levitate and take the amount of arts damage. Thanks to the Sanctuary upgrade that happens on skill 3, it's allowing the defenders to stay more alive to these really hard elite enemy hitters. Do you need to M3 her skill tree? Not necessary. There are situations that it's going to be strong, but for a lot of people, they're just going to use the default skill of skill 2. So just M3 skill 2, give that mod level 1, invest in skill 3 when you feel like you have the resources to do so. Or if you really like Haruka, then you can do it. But again, skill 2 is like 95% of the time that you probably use her. Such a simple unit to use, and if you already have her, enjoy it. Anyways, I think we need a closer for this video. I think we have a good finale performance. See you guys in another operator showcase. We'll be back for more. Bye bye.